Hello everybody, Jeff Gibby here back in the studio. I want to talk to you about the brand new add-on that we've been working on with John Carter called the John Carter Squeeze System. Thanks for watching the video. I'm going to go ahead and kind of get in and show you exactly what is involved in the squeeze system, what it's looking for, and what it does, and how to use it. So we'll spend just a few minutes today doing that. As a reminder, today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and the accompanying software plugins. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. All right, so you're probably familiar with John Carter. John runs a company called Simpler Options. Very good technician, does a lot of training. If you haven't been familiar with him, I'd recommend you check him out. He's been trading for a number of years, and for a number of years I've wanted to put his stuff and his squeeze system into MetaStock, and I'm glad we were able to get it done. Because now, with that particular system, you have the ability to not only display his indicators, which you can do in a number of places, but you also have the ability to scan on them and scan whatever market you're interested in. And because they're in MetaStock, you also have the ability to view them on any of the 180 or so exchanges that we cover. So we're very, very happy with the product. John's obviously been awesome. Him and his team have been very, very helpful in making sure everything is consistent with the squeeze indicator and that it displays properly and that everything makes sense and works for MetaStock. So let's go ahead and kind of talk a little bit more about it. Here's an image of the product. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the squeeze. The squeeze system obviously is designed to find when a stock is in a consolidative move. And I've heard it talked about before where when you kind of enter a squeeze pattern, it's kind of like tightening the string or the spring, if you would. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And the longer that it kind of tightens up, the more momentum or the more market energy that you've got, and it's going to be either expelled to the bullish side or the bearish side. It's kind of difficult to tell unless you have the proper indicators which way it's going to go. But generally, after the market moves sideways for quite some time, you get a lot of pent-up energy, and it's going to go one way or the other. And the squeeze is really kind of, in a nutshell, it's designed to help you find stocks or instruments that are currently in the squeeze pattern and help you determine whether or not they're going to break up bullish or break down bearish so that you can take the appropriate opportunity for those. And in a nutshell, that's really what it comes down to. Okay. Like I said before, it's a full integration with MetaStock, meaning we'll look at some chart patterns in a few minutes here, but it's going to allow you, for in addition to visually seeing the squeeze indicator, you'll now be able to scan all of the exchanges that you want for the stocks that you want. And we've built in full scanning capabilities as well as our expert advisor with it. So here's the indicators. It has three indicators. It's got the ST band signal, the ST bands, and the squeeze. I'm going to show you how those work in just a second. As part of the product, we also have two explorations. There's a pre-filter scan that's designed to go in and show you and get rid of the stocks that you don't want to trade anyway. And you'll definitely want to use this in the US. If you're in Singapore or if you're in Australia, well, you may want to look at different ways to kind of pre-filter the market. What we're looking at is we're looking for stocks that are at a certain price level that have a certain amount of volume. And those price levels are calibrated for the US. They may not make sense in other countries, depending on kind of what you're doing. Now, the squeeze exploration is going to go through the stocks. It's going to identify which ones are currently in a squeeze pattern, so you don't have to look at any that aren't. It's going to also tell you right from the exploration homepage how long they've been in a squeeze pattern. It works very, very well. So you can go ahead and say, okay, well, how long has that spring been tightening for this particular instrument? And you can actually take a list of the top 5 that have been tightening for the longest and kind of keep an eye on those to wait for a breakout. Of course, there's an expert advisor that's included with that. It's called the ST Squeeze, and I'll show you that too. As with all of the add-ons I release, it has an expert advisor and an expert advisor commentary to explain to you exactly what's going on with John Carter's system, and I'll show you exactly how it works. Here's what a chart looks like with the template, and I think what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go into MetaStock and actually kind of show you how those pull together and how those look. So let's go ahead and kind of swap into the MetaStock program. I'm looking at a chart of the Dow Industrial Average. Okay, and it's basically a bar chart. You can change that to a candlestick if you prefer fairly easily. And what we've got down here is we've got kind of his squeeze indicator and his bullish bearish momentum indicator as well. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to notice is in the center of this indicator is basically a ribbon that's either red or green, depending on whether or not you're in a squeeze or not. So right now we're looking at this, and for the past several periods, actually the last 14 days, we've been in a squeeze. When it's red, you're in a squeeze. When it's not red, you're not in a squeeze currently. So what we're looking for is we're looking to identify when a stock has been in a squeeze. And by looking at this particular thing, we can very easily see that, hey, it's been in a squeeze. It's been in a squeeze pattern for 14 days. Okay. The other two indicators that he uses is he uses a momentum indicator. So, and really kind of the creation of this system, if you look on his website, was to make it very, very easy to read. He's very, very open about what kind of indicators he's using to kind of come up with his values and that kind of stuff. But what he wanted to be able to do is see very simply, okay, we are in a squeeze, and what does momentum look like? So underneath this trend indicator, you're going to see a momentum ribbon. And if you see a dark blue area, like you see right here when the market was shooting up, then your momentum is going to be extremely bullish and increasing. Okay. As the momentum starts to decrease, what you're going to see is a lighter blue line. And what that means is that momentum is currently decreasing, but it's still bullish. Okay? The exact opposite is true when you're looking at the red side of this. If we're back down here where the market is collapsing very, very strongly, you're going to see a dark red line. As that momentum starts to shift to the other direction, what you're going to see is a lighter red line, or I'm sorry, darker red line. And that's all kind of laid out for you in the commentary. So on the commentary, we're looking at the last day or the last bar. And what it's saying is the squeeze indicator attempts to identify periods of consolidation in the market. Right now, the squeeze pattern is currently indicating a squeeze for the Dow. This is indicated by the red dots, or basically this red ribbon here that I was talking about. A squeeze is a period of consolidation in the market. The DIA has been in a squeeze for 14 days. The longer the squeeze pattern exists in the chart, the more potential the subsequent move could have been, or could be. So that makes a lot of sense. Basically, what we're looking at is again, that spring. And we can see that in the case of the DIA, this has been tightening, and it's been tightening for about 14 days. Now, how do we know which direction the momentum is heading? Well, right now, here we've got the momentum indicator, and the momentum, it's basically telling us that the momentum for DIA appears to be bullish and increasing. Okay, and that's really as simple as that. What we've done is we've taken some very, very kind of complicated formula and it really made a system that you can visually see, and that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so now what I want to show you is how that's been integrated into the MetaStock scanning utility. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the P here, which is going to open up my Power Console. Okay, and I'm going to come down to the scanning utility. So I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen so you can see it very nicely. If I click on this button that says Explore, Explore is what we use in MetaStock to scan stocks. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Okay, and now I'm going to have a list of the scans that are available. And right here I've got the ST pre-filter scan and the ST squeeze. Okay, the pre-filter scan you're going to want to run initially so that you can set up a list of the stocks that are going to work well with this squeeze. And again, what we're looking for, if you hover right over it, really we're looking for stocks that are trading over 20 bucks on average and have a minimum average volume of $200,000. And it's designed to, again, be a pre-filter list. So initially you'll want to run this, and you can run this as often as you want. It probably wouldn't make sense to run it more than like once every month or so, because simply put, generally the averages that we're looking at for this particular squeeze are not really going to change that frequently. Okay. Now, the way you would run this is you'd go ahead and select the ST pre-filter, and right here where you've got your public list, you could run it against all the ETFs, for example. Or you could come into Equities North America, and what I did is I ran it against the optionable stocks. And so you just select this little check mark here. It's going to go to the optionable stock, and it's going to start the exploration. The way this report will come up when it's done, I've already run it so that I had to run it for the video, but the way this exploration is going to come up is it's just going to list the stocks that have met that pre-filter criteria, okay? And you really don't, what you really want to do is you just want to save this list so you can use it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Save List right here, and I've made a list called ST pre-filter result. You'll notice now when I go to run my scans, I'm going to be scanning against 1,800 stocks instead of 4,000 stocks. So it really does kind of save you time every day to do this. What I'm going to do here, though, to kind of create this list, what you'll do is you'll just click on Create New right here. You'll type in the name for your list, and you'll click OK, and then you click on OK again, which will add it to the list that you've made. In this case, I'm going to click Cancel because I've already saved this over, so I could show you exactly how easy it was to use. Okay. The second scan that we work with in this is called the ST Squeeze scan, and it's right here. And this is basically designed to show you a couple things. It's going to eliminate stocks that are not currently in the squeeze pattern. Again, what we want to do is we want to find those stocks that have kind of been consolidating and have a spring-like pattern to them. And we want that spring to be just as tight as possible. It'll also tell us how long that squeeze has been active. I've run this scan against my pre-filter list, but I want to show you how easy it is to use. If I just click on ST Squeeze right here, and I come to my custom data list, you'll see I have that ST pre-filter results, that list of 1,800 stocks here. So my daily process or my hourly process or however often I want to run this thing is just to come in here and click on Start Exploration. And when it finishes, it takes a few minutes to complete, and it depends on your internet speed. But when it comes back, it's going to show you currently what the squeeze is, whether it's bullish or bearish momentum. And this bar's in squeeze is going to tell you exactly how long it's been in the squeeze. So if we wanted to find stocks that have been in the squeeze for a really long time, all we had to do is click on this column and bring all the top ones to the top. And right now we've got LNG, ED, NXST, SO, and KRE that have been exhibiting a swing pattern for 30 days. Okay, then we've got a couple more, and then we could actually kind of go in and look at those, kind of wait for them to break out, and see which direction they're breaking out to make our trades on them. So it really does automate the process for the ST Squeeze indicator. Helps us find which ones are currently tightening up for that momentous move, and then it explains the whole thing with the expert advisor in the commentary. And really, again, the biggest thing that we're bringing here to the table with this particular add-on is you'll have the ability now to not only see the squeeze, but you'll also be able to scan for stocks and figure out how long they've been in the pattern. That's what I wanted to show you today. I really appreciate your watching my video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and thanks for watching.